There are some of you sitting in here right now, you don't understand your value as being a Christian. You don't understand your value to this church because you're not singing in a choir, you're not playing an instrument, you're not standing behind the pulpit. But I promise you, when you're gone, there's a space vacant. There are people that are supposed to be in this ministry that are not here because you won't play your part. God told you to go out and witness to somebody. Tell them I love them. Tell them to come to church. Tell them I want to feed them this same word. You want to be on the stage, but you can't even do your phone. And God says, play your role. You are greater than you think. Say with me, I'm sanctified. Say, I'm sanctified. Now, some of you may say, because Jesus went to his son. Are you still with me? Am I still okay? I have enough time left? Okay, great. Balcony, am I okay? Okay, let me show you what this equals now. There was a time when Jesus was about to be baptized. Now watch how important this is. He was sitting there and John the Baptist had baptized him at the Jordan River, and he had not performed one miracle. He had not spoken to any great crowds. But while he was there, a voice came down and said, "This is my beloved son." God said, "This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased." Wait a minute. Jesus had not done any miracles. He hadn't spoken to any crowds. But God said, "This is my son in whom I am well pleased." He was pleased with him because of who he was. Not because of anything that he had done. Not because of anything that he had. God was pleased because of who he was. I want you to hear this morning. God is pleased because of who you are. You haven't done any great things yet. Some of you have not. Pastor Rush, I'm flunking school. I'm getting evicted. I'm in jail. I've been incarcerated. I can't even keep up with child support. I got a record. Pastor Rush, I'm not even educated, man. God says, I'm proud of who you are. Not what you've done. You haven't done it yet. He did no miracles and God was proud of him. Am I making sense, y'all? No one told me about God being proud because I was poor. But that's not where I was going to stay. I was not going to stay there, y'all, in that poor condition, because before he even brought me here, he did what to me? Come on, say it there. Don't be ashamed. He what? Take your hand right here and put it on yourself and say, I am sanctified. Pastor, you don't know us like that. You are exactly right. I don't know you, but I know your creator. Well, why are there so many hellish people in the church? Please answer a question for me then. I'll answer yours if you'll answer mine. Here's mine first. What else did God have to choose from? Everybody in here had to come. Let's just tell the story. Everybody inside came from outside. So if you qualify to be inside, you first had to be outside. And the reason so many of us have so much world on us sometimes is because that's how we came in here. But you messed up. He's sinned. He's constantly doing it. Every day you wash your hands because every day you touch something that gets you dirty. Every day you take a shower. And even if you don't take a shower, you have the desire to. You may think that that's not me, Pastor Rush. I'm not like Jesus. I got too many flaws. Please get out of that defeated mentality. You may not be perfect, but God is not basing your value on your performance. If you're taking notes, please write this down. I have to stop being so performance-based. Most of you are extremely jealous people because you're performance-based. You're not doing anything because you want to. You're doing everything because you want somebody else to see you better than somebody else. It's hard living a performance-based life. I want you to be able to smile because you know you're not happy today, but happiness is coming in a couple of days. People criticize me a lot because they say, well, you know, you act like everything's always all right. You always smile and laughing. All my life, I've been smiling and laughing. I can't keep a whole lot of friends because most of my preacher friends are very serious. I'm very serious. I just smile and laugh when I'm serious. And so one of the things I've learned is that if I want you to smile back, I need to smile first. And I look at some of you, I'm looking like, man, I must not be smiling because that dude right there is looking like this. But sometimes I had to learn that I got to give a smile, and I may not get one from him, but there's one over there waiting on me. But I don't smile anymore because everything is all right. I smile because I still have a light inside of me. And I want you to practice doing that. You wonder why some people don't smile at you? You ought to see how you're looking at them. Everybody won't smile back because sometimes they just need what you have to offer. Can I have about 5 more minutes of your time? And then I'll get to the close. The reason that some of us are not understanding that we're sanctified is because we have forgotten what God has already done for us. Most of us have let one miracle that happened in our lives become so ordinary that you don't think God can do anything else. You're still living on that last time when God blessed you. And so now miracles or whatever God is, it doesn't excite you anymore. It doesn't. You're waiting on God to do something real great, and he did something great this morning. You woke up breathing. I know it doesn't seem like a big thing, but if you've ever been an asthmatic, if you've ever been in a hospital, if you've ever been on life support, when you said, Lord, if you just let me get up in the morning, if you just let me pay a car note one more time, if you just get me out, all those things, and God kept doing them, and now they just get ordinary for you. And so now you're so used to being blessed, it's just ordinary. You're chilling in front of God. You need to look back over your life and remember some of your victories. Is there anybody that can remember some things God's done? Okay, now let's just do this. Please don't leave. Let's stay in this one together today. Anybody remember some big things God did? I'm not going to ask you about them because it may not be anybody's business yet. That's your testimony. But anybody remember any small things God did? See? And right now, if you don't think God's going to do anything, you might need to go back and try to remember some of those small things. And you'll be able to realize that if God did it once, it's about time for God to do it again. It's about time for him to do it again. You can be a little discouraged and troubled right now and say, I don't see how I'm going to ever get out of this situation I'm in. I'm never going to get out of this problem. I don't see how I'm going to get out of debt, Pastor Rush. I hear you talking, but I don't think I'll ever get well. Man, when that happens, you got to go back to some of those things like the children of Israel. Y'all know the story of how they went to the Red Sea and God opened it up. They needed a what? They needed a miracle, y'all. God had been with them and they came to this water and they needed a miracle, and God opened that water and provided that miracle. But they got so used to being okay, they forgot the water behind them. Because on the other side of the water, there are some more issues. Yeah, I remember when I didn't have any children, I didn't have a husband, when I didn't have a house. God opened all that stuff up for you. Now, on the other side of it, you forgot that God opened it up. Some of you need to go back and remember your Red Sea days. Yeah, you have a Red Sea day. You have a day when you realize that something, God needed to bring you out of something so bad and Satan messed with it on your mind, and God restored your mind. You got to remember some of the battles that he fought for you and how God restored you and how God vindicated some things for you and has shown favor for you. Some people wrecked your life. They wrecked your reputation. They lied on you. And everybody know, they posted it, and thousands of people think awful about you. They've been thinking bad about you. But God, some kind of way, he vindicated you. He gave you your reputation back. He gave you a second chance. And now he has found favor in you. You need to go back and remember, God, I thought it was over. I was washed out. I quit. And God did something to improve your credit. He got you hired when you didn't qualify. He put you in a residence where you weren't supposed to be. God gave you a slip up on a grade when you knew you should have flunked. Go back and remember some of that. Didn't he do it, y'all? Remember when you were sick and it hurt and you couldn't get better, and all of a sudden it was better, and now you're back to playing basketball, you're back to running again. It was so smooth you didn't even realize when it happened. But he found favor. He did it. You need to go back and remember some of those victories, and that's why I'm so strong about the young people now, because sometimes working with young people, you take a lot of beatings. And every one of us can look back and see the hand of God on our lives. I can. Some of you remember when you had bugs in your home. You remember it. I mean, some of you would never know it. God bless you, and thank you, Jesus, you'll never know it. It's against the health code to have roaches now. And it was part of the family approval list. But you need to go back and think about the times when your house was so junky that rats claimed first to the room. You turn on the lights and they were like, get out of here, yeah, get out of here, quick, quick. But you don't know that anymore. You might need to go back and think about the times when you used to have to ask for rides just to go to church or anywhere. You don't have to do that anymore. You may have to go back and remember some of those days when you would open up the refrigerator and the only thing to eat in there was ice. I'm talking about the frost from it that you would escape down your throat. Everybody can look back and see how God has guided our life. God has opened some doors for you that should have never been opened. But those doors were opened just for you. You were the children of Israel. He opened it up just for you because you are what? Oh, come on, church. Because you're what? He opened it long enough and wide enough for you to get through. And everybody coming behind you got shut out. He opened it just for you. And you went through it. And that's why you're lonely right now. Because there were people that you thought that should have come over with you. They weren't trusting God like you. That thing was shut behind them. And now you're having to trust God all over again, just like you did before. But this time you're going to do it because you're what? Sanctified. You're set apart. You're set apart. I want you to tell somebody He opened it just for me. See, God approved the credit just for you. Everybody else was trying to get their car the way you did. They can't. He put a place in your heart just for Him. He opened a house just for you. He opened a job opportunity just for you. It was just for you. Everybody else tried to do it. They couldn't get it. He helped you accomplish things that you never could have accomplished on your own. He brought you out of some difficulties that you thought you would never survive. I want the hand of a survivor. Raise your hand for just a second. I still want to know who I'm talking to. You survived some things. Some of you have been shot, almost shot, in accidents, cars crushed. Somebody told you you weren't going to make it, and they were telling the truth. But God went and said, I need to reverse that. Why? Because this child is sanctified. He had plans for you. He protected you, and then He promoted you. You didn't hear what I said. I said I'm talking to the people that have been protected now. I'm going to get back to the lesson, but He protected you, and then God didn't not only protect you, He promoted you. He gave you opportunities, and you didn't even realize it. What's the key to staying encouraged, Pastor Rush? The key to staying encouraged so that God can open some more doors for you now is that you never forget what He's done. Maybe you took advantage of it. Maybe you complained too much. Maybe it's time for you to go and say, okay, I didn't realize how good it was. This is the key, guys. If you want another door open, go back and remember. I'll just change it. Never forget what He's done.